The Polish ambassador is David Sugalski, an American electronic music producer and DJ from Oakland, California. Not only does this funky diplomat continue to experiment with electronic, dub and world music, but has spearheaded a permaculture movement within the festival scene across the USA, merging sustainability and celebration. You're tuned in to Roots to Grooves.
Let the rhythm, let the rhythm just, let the rhythm, let the rhythm just, let the rhythm, let the rhythm just,
yeah. Let the Polish ambassador, Mr. Lip, ride with us on this journey real swift.
Let the rhythm just.
Are you ready? Yes, let us start this quest. Let me say first of all that I feel blessed. Just waking up every day is a prize. Feeling all the love before I open my eyes. It wasn't always like this. Strife is a conduit to make us feel lifeless. So lost in the ads, fads drags us down to a lower level where we can't be found. But in this underground we forge our own paths. The sun still shines and yes we do laugh. Yes we do have the things you wanna sell us. Fulfilled from within despite what you tell us. Rebellious is the spirit that flies. So ethereal that earth becomes skies. I gotta say with no further ado, we're happy to be here with you.
So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash our lines to this heart and beat by beat taken apart. So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash our lines to this heart and beat by beat taken apart. So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash our lines to this heart and beat by beat taken apart. So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash our lines to this heart and beat by beat taken apart.
It's just another harsh case of cannibalism. Oops, I really meant to say capitalism. After the rhythm dies down, will it revitalize your soul when you remember the sound? If not, you're listening to audio garbage. Shitty yes could be R.I.P. no homage. We hit the lab and we're hoping to accomplish jams that'll lead you to the land that's promised. Honest, raw sentiments project. You see us at the set and we instantly connect. Cause we've been thinking about y'all for days. So here's a little something for us modern day slaves. No companies, no filters, no residue. Just the impact of this vibe we're sending you. I gotta say with no further ado, we're happy to be here with you.
So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash our lines to this heart and beat by beat taken apart. So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash our lines to this heart and beat by beat taken apart. So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash our lines to this heart and beat by beat taken apart. So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash our lines to this heart and beat by beat taken apart.
We start questions. How we advance through life and learn lessons. Suggestions are made and then explored. I'm positive whatever's negative gets ignored. We're on a mission, can you see that? I float a theory through the air, now can you breathe that? If you inhale, then you embark upon a tale. Don't grieve over things you leave, just set sail. There's no fail, there is only success. If you learn from mistakes you've made and progress. Maybe it's best that we halt this discussion. Sit back and just bathe in percussion. Let the rhythm just carry us away as we twirl through the atmosphere and just sway. I gotta say with no further ado, we're happy to be here with you.
So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash our lines to this heart and beat by beat taken apart. So you can hold all of the folds of all all these parts that become sore. When waves crash shorelines to this heart, and beat by beat taking apart. So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash shorelines to this heart, and beat by beat taking apart. So you can hold all of the folds of all these parts that become sore. When waves crash shorelines to this heart, and beat by beat taking apart.
You see, sometimes true value of life is captured in the essence of the simple things you won't find in any store. As we explore, as we proceed, a journey through the spirit. And a journey through sound. Mr. Liff and TPA.
Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Roots to Grooves. Once again, I'm Jesse Quigley. This is Jay Purcell.
Good to see you, everybody. Good to meet you.
Yeah.
I was going to say good to meet you.
I wish we could see you all.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
So what's up? We're in Seattle, Washington. Another dark, rainy night, as always.
It's actually not. Is it raining yet?
Actually, it wasn't raining on my way here, but I bet it will start.
It's been miserable. There
Pretty
was a
soon.
massive storm the other night.
Yeah, that was scary.
I had some friends posted on Facebook that their garden furniture was up in the trees of the neighbor's house. It was that crazy.
I was trying to go from my house and to drop somebody off back in town, and 3 routes, I ran into a tree covering the whole road.
Really.
3 different ways, and we
Yeah.
were stuck.
This doesn't happen that often. I don't feel like in Seattle.
It rains a lot, but that was like a freak storm. It was kind of weird,
Yeah.
kind of scary. We made it through. I hope everybody's okay.
I know we keep like enticing the listeners and viewers to come visit Seattle with our talk of the weather. Come.
Maybe
Enjoy.
don't. Maybe don't.
No, don't.
Wait till June or July,
Oh, yeah.
and it's actually
good.
pretty nice.
Very nice.
So what's up, Jay? We are talking about the Polish ambassador
Yeah.
himself, the world's funkiest diplomat.
Yeah, and to recap our viewers, this is a show where each episode we pick a different artist
Yeah, awesome.
and we talk about their music and their career from their first releases to where they are recently, and all of the information we can find in between about their life and about how they create music.
Yeah, totally. Their journey, their perspective, and their philosophy of life in general.
Yeah, and so yeah, this week you picked the Polish ambassador. What did
Yeah.
you say? The funky what?
Oh, the world's funkiest diplomat.
The world's funkiest. Did he say that, or was?
I saw that written somewhere. I don't know who
Okay.
said it, but it's
Okay.
kind of funny. But I mean, definitely, I've been doing some research, and
Yeah.
you got to pick through some of the YouTube videos of
Yeah.
the actual Polish ambassador, like or I don't know who I was looking at, but some real people in Poland. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, well, he is.
That's the
Polish.
name of the That's
Oh.
how you say it. Poland. Poland.
Poland, yeah.
If you're Polish, you're from Poland.
You're Polish. If you're from Poland.
This is low key a geographical podcast now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's his real name was it David Sugalski? That's how you say his
Yeah,
name?
that's how I say it at least.
He's from he's from Colorado, I think, originally, right? But he lives in California right now.
I think. Yeah, he moved around a lot. I think he grew up in Philadelphia.
He did? Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't see where he grew up from. But he has Polish heritage, but he was born in America. Right?
Yeah, but he's straight up American.
Yeah.
Yeah, so totally. I think, as far as I know, he grew up with his parents in Philadelphia. Then he went to college at University of Colorado at Boulder.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's how he made his way west,
Yeah.
I suppose.
And what was he studying there?
It was a degree in business. I think it was marketing.
Ah, interesting.
And as far as I know, I think he was doing some kind of post-production for tracking TV shows. And I think he worked on something at least having to do with Oprah
Oh,
show
really?
at some
Okay.
point.
Interesting.
If I was researching correctly
Okay.
and I remember correctly.
I didn't see this at all in my research.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's what we don't talk about this before. That's the other thing about the show.
Yeah, it's off the cuff.
we
Like,
picked-
what did you find out? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's the magic, baby.
So he did like TV sound engineering.
I believe so. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I didn't look further into it because we're not concentrating on his degrees.
Yeah, but he did when he was Colorado studying. That's when he started to create music, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, I think he first moved to Chicago, and that's where he was working on this. That's where he was working with his marketing degree.
Yeah, I did see that, and I think he had a relationship that ended or something, and that's when he moved out.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, and I think who the woman singing on that track that we opened up with.
Yeah.
Ayla Nerio.
Yeah.
And so they're together, his partner in love and music.
Yeah, she features on vocals on a lot of his tracks, and they also have this side project. I think it's called Wildflower,
Or Wild Light.
a Wild Light.
Yeah.
So, where they it's mostly just those two at the core of that project.
So
writing and recording stuff. Yeah.
Right, she's doing a lot of the vocals.
Yeah.
For live performances and recording purposes, obviously, and then Polish ambassador David Sugalski. What was it? I'm sorry, Sugalski.
I think, Signlski.
Sigalski.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, guys.
But it's interesting about that project, with I want to. Was it Ayla? Is her name?
Ayla.
Ayla. Okay. Because they said when they started their relationship, they didn't really have any plans to collaborate because they didn't want to like complicate things.
Right. Yeah, I think
musically
they
and be in
made
a relationship.
they made that decision to not as to not complicate
Yeah.
their personal relationship, which is probably could be a good idea.
Yeah.
At least starting out, and eventually I think he was working on a track or something, and they just kind of collaborated on it casually.
Yeah.
And it eventually kind of turned into a bigger project, which is a fully realized project at this point.
Yeah, so I think what ended up happening is she was working on some music with some other people, and he would come by the studio. He wanted to remix a track of hers, and then it just they just organically fell back into collaborating again because they were like, oh, actually, we can make
Actually, this is kind of
cool
cool
shit together. So so initially they didn't want to do that, but they ended up doing that, and I understand that as well. Yeah, I don't really know if I really want to work with my significant other. Like it's a thing, because you can get into arguments about professional stuff, and then this
Space can be good.
Yeah, space can be good. I think sometimes
Having different
Yeah.
objectives,
Yeah.
different things to do during the day, different goals.
Yeah.
But obviously it's working for them, and it could work for a lot of other people as well.
Yeah.
But they took it with some nuance, and they started conservatively, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
So, I guess we should just tell everybody who's listening what this guy's about. It's kind of, we heard the first track, it's electronic. It's,
Yeah. What was that album from? At which point in his discography was that?
That was
intro
from
track?
an album called Pushing Through the Pavement, which was,
yeah.
I think, 2014.
Right.
But yeah, it's electronic.
Yeah.
It's like IDM, I've heard, like intelligent dance music. So it's dancey.
Oh,
It's
IDM. Yeah.
Yeah, not E.
Not E.
I.
I. Okay.
So I was just reading that, but yeah, it's kind of dancey. It's kind of housey.
Yeah.
A lot of his albums change a little bit. They have their own vibe.
Yeah.
And he experiments with different things from electronic stuff to live instrumentation.
And like sort of some world music vibes I was hearing with a lot of his percussion
Totally,
stuff that he
yeah.
uses in there.
Totally, which is cool. And I think he's kind of incorporated that world music style throughout his discography as he's moving along.
Yeah.
But he started out a little bit more, almost like a little like glitchy, like it was kind of based on video game sounds.
Yeah, like a sort of 8-bit.
Yeah.
Or 16-bit funk is what he called it.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, I listened to that very first album. Diplomatic Immunity was his very first release in 2006.
Yeah.
And it's very 8-bit, 16-bit funk is
It's good.
glitchy. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
good,
would, that's probably where I would start with this guy. All his stuff is pretty consistent. He's pretty prolific.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, so I'd never heard of this artist before until you suggested him.
Cool.
So the first thing I did was listen to his most recent album, which is called, what's that called? Is it I don't know. I don't have it off the top of my head right now.
I don't know. Talk about something else. Let me look it up. I lost it.
yeah, so I listened to that first, and then I was like going backwards a little bit, and then I was like, okay, I just run out of time because this guy has like so many albums out from 2006 all the way up to 2020, right?
Yeah, so that he came out with an album called Time's Running in 2020.
Yeah, and so it seems like he's released an album every year since 2006.
So he's working hard. He's
more.
working with a lot of people, collaborating with a lot of people, and getting stuff done.
Yeah, very rich discography. And then, he's also out there in the world playing all these festivals. Of course, he was before COVID. Right now, no one can do that. But a lot of these big parties. And that's why I haven't heard IDM before, but EDM, like he definitely seems like in that realm of big electronic dance festivals kind of thing.
Totally.
But he has that component and that side of him, which isn't just all about that sort of clubby culture, but actually more of a grounded kind of outlook to things, which we can talk about now or later.
Yeah, we could talk about that now. First of all, I would just shout out my super good friend Emily Thrasher, because she's the one who put me in the direction of this guy. She told me about him a few years ago, and I never really got into it because I'm not coming from a really electronic background as far as the music that I listen to super often. But this guy's, it's super legit. He's super cool. And so, yeah, she has a lot of good music. So I'm starting to steal some more. I'll probably steal some more ideas for artists that we can talk about from her.
Nice. Did she put you onto a specific album or just the artist in general?
Well, we were talking last night, and she dropped a whole bunch of her favorite tracks and stuff that we should talk about. So I think, that first track that we played was one of her suggestions.
Okay. Yeah.
So, great job, Em. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
If you're listening, what's up?
What's up?
Yeah, she lives in Denver, Colorado. And then I don't know what I was going to say after that. But, so this guy has good music, but he doesn't just concentrate on the music. That's not the only thing he does. He's kind of spearheaded this whole permaculture thing, and he has these action days, and he's really, he's kind of, connected with the earth and wants to connect people, and use music to create new organizations and, building new things, creating more sustainability in the greater culture.
Yeah. I'm not sure where that came about, because for me it seems like a very strange thing to be, well, not strange, but usually those two things don't go hand in hand, like the electronic dance music culture and being, I don't know how you would say it, eco-friendly or consciously minded about the earth and what we're doing, and
a lot of
humans' place here on the earth and stuff like that,
Right. A lot of times it would seem like the opposite, like, oh, let's go to a big party, a big festival, we'll do some drugs, we'll have a great time, and then that's it.
And he's even encouraging people to choose healthier drink options at his shows. I saw some stuff about him saying that, like, he said he does drink. He even makes his own beer.
He makes some mead at home.
Yeah, and mead. And, but he was saying about that, like, he realized sometimes when he was going to shows himself, just as an audience member, and, he'd maybe feel not so comfortable in the place, whatever, and so he'd go to the bar and have a drink, and then he started to realize, like, oh, I'm drinking in order to feel comfortable here around these people. Like, that's not a good thing. So he did sort of a bit of a reality check around that sort of thing. And so now he's like, kind of, I think that's where he's coming from when it's like, encouraging people to drink like kombucha or some teas or some kind of elixir at a show where you don't have to get drunk and stuff like that. And,
you don't get to a point where you don't feel like you need something in order to feel like yourself to be fully kind of realized. And you can enjoy yourself and the people around you. In a more self-sustaining, healthy way. So I think he stopped drinking for a little while. He took a little break. And then he's not saying it's a bad thing either. It's a part of our culture. It's been around for thousands of years. And so it's very ingrained in our society. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. And actually, you could argue that it was an important catalyst for building our culture as humans in general. I
mean, monks used to make alcohol all the time. I think that's where beer came from, and wine
way back in the day.
But I guess what he's doing is like he's encouraging people. It's like, it's okay, you're going to be judged if you're not drinking or whatever, or you're not doing drugs and stuff like that. You can still come and be welcomed at these shows and these parties without having to do that sort of stuff, kind of thing. You know, you can be sober and just enjoy the music and get high off the music. I think is like,
right. It doesn't have to be a one-dimensional, like just get wasted or whatever. So yeah, he's bringing it really full circle. So one of the coolest things this guy's done is he's gone on these big tours, done these big festivals, like we said. But he organized this whole thing based on permaculture and having action days at the show.
Yeah, this is really cool. So yeah, you want to explain to the listeners and the viewers how he made that work?
Yeah, well, I think he was he just had this idea, and he would be playing these shows, and he would see all these people, like thousands of people, just everywhere, having all this energy and focus on this music and on what it was about. And everyone, you feel that when you go to a show, like the sense of community, and that makes people feel really good. And he's like, how can you capture this energy and kind of obtain that, and then use it like a fuel to create something new, I guess. I don't know if I'm saying that the clearest way, but he recognized that there was a lot of energy, and that people kind of want more than just let's get drinks and listen to some EDM music. And people are deeper than that, and the music community can be way deeper than that, and there's so much energy. Why aren't we doing more? We have the power to do more, so we should, and use this opportunity and all this potential energy to create something new. And so basically he started, I think it was in 2014 was the first permaculture action tour, where they would have a big show, a big festival in a big city around the US specifically, I think. And then the day after that night of the show, he would invite fans, and he would go out himself with Ayla, and whoever else was on his team with the organization, and they would actually find a spot in the city and organize something to grow and build a garden, or something more self-sustaining, or
to do something hands-on that would benefit not only the earth and the world and humanity, but directly local communities,
right,
where he was performing at that time, kind of thing.
Yeah, so not just pointing people like, hey, that could be done, go do that. Like he's actually, I'm going to this location. Yeah. Yo, everybody follow me. We're going to build a garden today.
Get your hands dirty. He was out there, working in the garden and stuff like that.
So, just amazing, right? That's super cool. Why haven't people thought of this before? Our society and all these cities are so destructive, and they just take from the earth.
Yeah.
And we have all this power and energy, and he's like, he recognized that, and he brought people together and created this new movement.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I think other people, there's permaculture is not, he didn't invent it or anything like that, but he kind of spearheaded this movement of combining this festival energy and power into something useful and positive,
and harnessing his fan base in order to make that happen, right? Like all these people that were into his music and coming to these shows, it's another way. And I'm sure like a lot of his listeners have the same outlook as him, but maybe not everyone. Maybe it was like a new thing, a new concept when he was on this tour, and they're like, oh, okay, they invited me to this thing tomorrow. Okay. So it's like, becomes like a 2-night thing, or 2-day thing.
Yeah, and these people are staying up till like midnight or 2 a.m. at this, concert, festival, show, dancing.
Yeah. And then the next day doing some manual labor.
Get up at 8 a.m. But he's right there with you. David is going to the location with his fans. He's probably the first one there, and helping to organize and communicate and bring these people together, create these connections, build these networks. Yeah. That can continue once he goes to the next city. And
it's really fascinating that he did that, and he's not just doing that as a one-off thing. I know, like he formed his label Jumpsuit Records,
right?
Because he always wears a jumpsuit as like his signature outfit on stage.
We could talk about that for a second, which is kind of cool.
Let's take a diversion. So like he said his first jumpsuit he got was for like $4 at a thrift store, and it was like a 1970s women's ski jumpsuit or something like that. Yeah,
and then I think he's had another one remade.
Yeah, he had a replica made of it.
Right, because it kind of became his signature look. It's like it's specifically he has this yellow and blue jumpsuit, and those are kind of the colors he kind of assumed and is kind of used over and over again.
And of course, wearing the same outfit for many shows, it's not going to be very nice smelling or nice looking after a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully he has a washer and dryer in his
Yeah.
his band van or whatever.
Yeah. So he had a replica made. He's had a few more made, I think, like custom ones. I think even as part of merchandise, he was trying to see if anyone would be, or he got asked if he would sell it as merch, and he was
Right.
like, well, yeah, if people are interested.
I think he did. I think he made a run for him, and
Yeah.
he had a bunch of them made, and people ate them up, and they're showing up, making their own versions of it, and showing up to
Yeah.
the festivals wearing it.
Yeah, because he sort of, for his custom ones, he sort of teamed up with these like independent artists and clothing makers sort of thing that were making his
Right.
suits. So I think like maybe it helps them as well as like artists and producers kind of thing.
Totally.
To make that sort of stuff.
Did you happen to see where he got that name?
The Polish ambassador.
right.
Yes, I did the G.
Yeah, I saw it as well.
Yeah, it's another DJ Shadow. He was influenced by DJ Shadow.
Right, yeah. So another, synchronicities. I love it.
So many people were influenced by DJ Shadow, me included. And
Right.
if you haven't, listeners, you didn't know, go check our episode on DJ Shadow.
It's one of our
out there.
first 5 episodes.
One of our first batch.
That's a good one, because I didn't know who that guy was until Jay pointed him out.
There you go. Yeah. So we talk about him, and then we've mentioned him more than once in these other shows of
Yeah.
other artists that have name dropped him.
Yeah, which is cool.
But yeah, David Sugalski, he was got into DJing, right, and scratching, because he was really into DJ Shadow and a couple of other people, and he had these turntables. He went to a record store and got some records to scratch with, and one of them was a spoken word record, and I'm not sure what it was about, but there was a sample in it that said the Polish ambassador, and it always scratched with that, and like Polish ambassador. So then all the people, his friends and all that, started calling him the Polish ambassador. So
Yeah, which, so we kind of assumed this character,
Yeah.
but it matches with him because he is Polish.
yeah. There you go.
But living in America, and I guess he kind of liked that phrase, and he would put it in
fits.
in his DJ sets and stuff, and people started to recognize him, and he kind of took that moniker and built it up into now it's his kind of full identity.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
But yeah, then I guess so. Back on like what does permaculture mean? I don't really know what the meaning of that is. I'm very bad at this.
So I mean, permaculture. I did a little research on the word. So permaculture, permanent agriculture. So it's a way to continue. Like our societies aren't very sustainable. We're just taking from the earth and not really giving back. It's not sustainable. It's not lasting.
Yeah.
We're not creating new things. We're not growing enough new things to sustain what is going on. And so he's like, the ideology, ideal, I don't know
ideology.
how to
Yeah.
conjugate that word. Yeah. But how can we create something that's in symbiosis with the ecology of the world and the economy of our culture, and how to make something last? So like creating things that aren't in the way of what's already going on in nature. So using kind of natural stuff in a natural way.
Right.
And it's kind of it's a big body. It's not just one little thing. It's not creating a self-sustaining garden, but for example, like using like rivers or streams in a self-sustaining way and not getting things in the way to help you make irrigation systems to feed the garden or the area, the farm that you're on. So you're not changing the earth or the world really, but you're using it in a way to help itself.
I feel like that's kind of a Japanese outlook.
Yeah, it's kind of Zen.
Yeah. I know, because this is a little bit of a digression, but I got on a kick about being interested in Japanese carpentry for a little bit.
That's cool.
And there's some really cool things you can find on YouTube, little documentaries and stuff like that. And there was this one carpenter that made just like a little notion that really stuck with me is when they're building homes out of wood and stuff like that, they cut with the grain instead of against the grain. And that whole idea of going with nature, not against nature.
Right.
And I think that's what that permaculture culture sounds like, is
totally
in that sort of vein, is like not adding to the garbage.
Right. But in fact, using it, but garbage that we created to.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Anything, all the way around from, it's recycling.
Yeah.
This is like building homes that are using things from the earth rather than just importing things that aren't from the natural area.
Yeah.
Native plants.
Yeah.
So it's a whole big idea, and there's many different ways that you can incorporate permaculture
In your everyday life.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But basically it's like living in symbiosis with the world.
Yeah.
We're a benefit. We can be a benefit to the earth because the earth has been a benefit to us. So let's live with it instead of against it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the basic idea. So it's a pretty big idea. It's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty necessary idea. I think we should...
Even more necessary the more as eeach year ticks on and
exactly
the way shit goes in this world right now.
Yeah, people should have been doing this before, and that's super awesome that...
Yeah. Well, it's like the consumerist waste culture is something that's very harmful, right? All the plastics and shit like that.
Yeah.
All that stuff we create and consume and throw away and
and
without
gross.
thinking about it. Yeah. I mean, I'm just disgusted by landfills. It is as a concept, and anyway. Yeah,
no, I mean we send our garbage to other countries.
I know, like in Seattle, apparently they take all the garbage from Seattle and they load it onto trains, and then it goes outside the city, and then they just dump it in a landfill. That's where all the trash goes from Seattle.
That's not good.
When I heard that concept, I was like, this happens every day. They're loading trash on train carts and shipping it out.
So, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Not that it's just garbage, but that's our plan. Is just move it out of our way.
They do the
out of
same thing
mind.
with nuclear materials as well. Like, I think I can't remember what it is, the bit that's left over after they create energy and nuclear weapons.
Oh, yeah.
They can't dispose of it, so they build all these massive caves all over the world and all over the US, and they just store it away and seal it off. And they think maybe, hopefully, in 100 years, like, humans will figure out how to deal with it. Like, and all this type of shit happens, but that's beyond. That's beyond. I think what David Sugalski is thinking about, or maybe not. He probably thinks about that as well. But
I'm sure he's got bigger ideas. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's both him and Ayla, his girlfriend.
Yeah.
They're all about that. The permaculture, living in symbiosis with the world, being one with the earth.
Yeah.
And that's super awesome. I think more people need to start doing that.
Yeah, and
so I completely agree.
They live on a homestead in Nevada City in California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they have a little farm up there.
Have a little farm. So he lives there with friends.
I think it's 10 acres, so it's pretty big.
He built his own cabin on the place there. He makes all his music there. His studio is totally powered off of solar energy. That's what he says.
That's cool. I didn't find that bit.
Yeah. So I googled it. It actually looks like a nice little town to visit in California.
It's I think Nevada City.
Nevada City is like 60 miles from Sacramento is the nearest city.
Okay.
So
nice.
It looks nice. This little quaint little town. They call it downtown, but it looks like a western. All the shops and the one thing.
Tumbleweed going by.
Yeah. But that's where he's at doing that, and I guess like that ethos about like that way of looking at the world, it extends into his merchandise. Ethos. Like I did find like this whole big post he did on Facebook when he discovered that his fans were making unofficial merchandise, with his name and his likeness and his artwork and artwork of other people that he got to create stuff. They were making it unofficially, kind of thing. His post was very, he was like thinking out loud. He wasn't saying it was a wrong thing. He said that, if someone did it and they were like, and then would message him and said, like, oh yeah, I sold 100 t-shirts. Here's $200, like over PayPal, like go treat your crew to a meal kind of thing.
Nice.
Or like I sold all these t-shirts and I decided to plant these trees and here's a photo of these trees I planted kind of thing. He said he's cool with that because he said, it's not really about the money at the end of the day. Like he said, he's good. Like lives a comfortable life. This also happened in an interview as well, where the interviewer said when the interviewer first discovered his music, he downloaded all of his entire discography for free off of some like torrent site kind of thing. And he told David about this. And And he said, yeah, that's cool. He said, because it comes back around again, because then like you came to this music festival and you brought a couple of friends and you paid for tickets, and the music festival paid me to play there, kind of thing.
Yeah. So he's still benefiting, even though those people, those who turned into fans, got that music for free.
Yeah.
And I
So
think
it's got this, like, I guess you call it a pragmatic approach.
Okay.
Where, you know, that's how I would say it. It's like where he's not really like, yeah, everyone must buy this thing, and I'm going to like chastise these people for making unofficial merchandise and that. You know, he's like, you know, I live a comfortable life, I'm doing well, I'm good, you know, I'm making money out of these things and these things, kind of thing. And just be a good human, I think he's saying to his fans. Like, you know, don't sell a bunch of merch and get rich for yourself. Like, you know, put it back into the world somehow. Like, kind of thing.
Yeah, again, kind of working in symbiosis with the given, the economy that he's created.
Yeah,
with
his community of fans. And,
I think most of his music, he always puts it up for free.
He does.
And I'm not sure. I'm sure. I think you have to pay for it on iTunes or something, but he always puts it up, and he wants people to get it for free, basically.
Yeah, I think on Bandcamp he has name your price on there, kind of
right.
thing.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So you can give $1, $10, $20, $100,
whatever you want. Yeah.
But I mean, you'll fall in love with this guy and his music. It's super cool, and I think the music sounds better once you know what kind of he's about.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't. I listened to his most recent album first. I liked it. I'll be honest. It's not usually the type of stuff I usually listen to.
Right.
It's because it's sort of a little bit more EDM-y than I listen to.
Totally.
But he does definitely like fuse a lot of different inspirations into his music, like folk and world, and he has some rappers that feature on some of his albums. He did a live album as well, right?
One of his sets. I don't know which one that was. I'm looking through the list right now.
It was not necessarily a live album, but it was. He used live musicians.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, right.
On it, I think it was his album before last called "Land of the Lush."
Yeah, and that was one of my favorites that I've heard from him.
Yeah,
I just put. I don't know. I just put that one on because I'm just like, let's check this one. I never heard anything from it.
Yeah,
super cool.
Yeah, and I think the story behind this was he'd already written a bunch of tracks and just kind of, you know, filed them away, as a lot of musicians do now, thinking that he thought that it would probably sound good if some musicians could replay those songs and those parts that he wrote for that album. So he didn't get a chance to do that until he met one of the guys that's on that album. I forgot his name. Unfortunately, I don't have it in front of me. But he met this guy, and then he, through him, met a few other people, and then they decided to, he hired them to come into the studio and to play, re-perform his demo tracks, I guess, basically, live, and add their own sort of performance to it. And that's how that album, Land of the Lush, came to be. Yeah, in that way.
Super cool. That's one of my favorites. I don't know. It's just really, it's approachable. You know, it's easy to get into. It's not too house or techno. It's not too EDM, like just upbeat dance. It's kind of chill, almost. There's some, you know, it's lush, like in the name. Yeah. You know, it's jungly. It's kind of like some reggae kind of vibes. Yeah. A little dubby, but like with some live instrumentation. Yeah. All with his nice kind of electronic, chill. Yeah. You know, a little bit of world music vibe. That's one of my favorites. I think we should play another track off something. Show these people, our beautiful listeners, what else this guy's got up his sleeves.
What do you want to play?
Can we play something off of The Color of Flight?
The Color of Flight.
Cool album art with some parrots. It's really colorful, good colorful music. And I think we have one in that playlist that we can get going.
Yeah, either one.
Surprise me. Tell me.
All right, Take Wing. I'm going to play this also because little bit of knowledge. The village I used to live in the UK was called Wing.
Nice.
So not only can we take the capital, we can take Wing.
There you go. There you go.
Nice. That was Take Wing. I don't know when this episode is going to come out. I didn't mean to make a topical comment about taking the capital because
Oh yeah.
that's a very fucked up thing. But who knows where we are politically right now in
When this episode drops
in March of April of 2021. But
So that was Take Wing off Color of Flight in 2017.
yeah,
Cool, beautiful album cover with those parrots. So check that one out.
Yeah.
Whole thing's great.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think we have to talk about every single one of these albums.
There's a lot.
Yeah, he has a lot of stuff. He's always coming out with stuff. Some of them have some vocal features on them.
Yeah.
Others, he'll release a whole instrumental version of his album on one or two of these at least, I think.
He's done some acoustic versions as well.
Which is
whole album redone acoustically.
Yeah, and I was interested because I think I saw he came out with the acoustic album before the full blown version of that album. So that's kind of a cool way to do it too.
Interesting.
Kind of get people warmed up to it.
Yeah.
Before you drop the more electronic stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
A little more of a nice little transition.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, 2006 Diplomatic Immunity, 2007 The Phantasmal Farm, 2008 I Found Him, Now I Must Kill Him, 2010 Mating Season, 2010 also First Worlds, 2011 Future Sex Computers, then another one with remixes, 2013 Echozoic, that was a really cool one.
Have you listened to all of these albums? Or
No.
just some of them?
Just some of them. He has too much to.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it in the time span that we give ourselves,
Yeah.
which is like a week,
Yeah.
or yeah, usually a week because we do 2 per week.
Yeah.
But I listened to all of Land of the Lush, and I listened to quite a bit of Color of Flight. And Echozoic is a cool one though. I think that one's really cool. I think it's a pretty long one.
Okay.
It's like it doesn't say the amount of time on here, but that one's super cool.
Echozoic. I think my favorite album that I've heard so far, only being able to hear about 4 or 5 of his albums, was Dreaming of an Old Tomorrow. This came out in 2016. A lot of good tracks on there that I was into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, good stuff. So basically, he has the other project, Wildlight,
Yeah.
which is with his girlfriend, Ayla
Yeah.
Nario,
Yeah.
which is also super cool.
Yeah.
And then I think he had another, did you hear anything about Ample Mammal?
So that's like another pseudonym that he releases music underneath.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like an early name or whether he still releases music under that name.
I think it was an early name.
Yeah.
But if anybody out there listening, write into our email and let us know because I didn't see anything else about that.
Fact check.
Yeah,
I
please.
think I did see him say one thing about that was just that it's different musically, he feels like, than what he's releasing on the Polish Ambassador. So it's just a way, and that happens a lot, I've noticed, with a few different artists, like Tori Imoa maybe did the same sort of thing.
Right.
Definitely King Cruel as well, where they just, I guess these guys are just like creating music all the time, and sometimes you come up with something that's just like completely left field. You still like it, but it's not quite in the sphere.
It wouldn't fit
the sound of your
of that particular moniker
project.
I mean, a lot of these artists, it's cool because it's kind of like creating a character, especially like King Cruel we were talking about. And you know, that guy, it's King Cruel is this kind of angrier, dark character. That I can't remember that guy's name, but he becomes him when he's on stage.
Archie Marshall.
And Archie becomes King Cruel when he's in the music, when he's writing, and it's kind of a whole character. And same with the Polish ambassador, and he assumes this moniker, this name, and he kind of becomes this character in a yellow and blue jumpsuit who's jumping around, feeling real good on stage.
And try and create those vibes. He's very much about the live experience, I think, more than any other sort of artists. Well, not more than any other, but but I think he places it very important in his musical sphere. Like, he's not just someone that makes music and puts an album out and then hides away. Like,
totally,
he wants to take it out and take it to festivals, and he wants to meet people, and he wants to have these experiences with the music live kind of thing. I know, like, he sort of DJs it out a lot, but he does have a band as well. I don't know if that was just before Land of the Lush or whether he's had a band for his other albums. Do you know that? Or
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Off the top, I'm sorry.
But
I wish I did.
But one thing that was interesting about his live situation when he does have musicians is so he's on stage and he has Ableton and has all of the stems for all of his whole discography, I think, and he's like able to trigger different things. But he also has a microphone, and the purpose of that microphone is only to communicate to the other musicians that are on stage. So
Okay, right.
the audience can't hear him, but he'll say stuff, he'll like cue vocals, like to the singer kind of thing, or we're like, oh, it's time for a solo, like go out on the front of the stage and rip it up kind of thing.
And
like,
he's saying that privately, so the guitarist can hear him say that in his ear,
and
but the audience can't hear that.
Yeah, or we'll say funny shit and like just fuck with them kind of thing. Which
So
I thought was really interesting. So he said he's kind of like the captain of the ship. He's like choreographing it all.
Right. Which must be so fun to do that live.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm dropping out this this bass guitar, get up there, take a solo, like you said.
Yeah.
And he's kind of kind of organizing that live. That's I don't know, that's super fun. That's super cool.
Yeah. So that was another.
I mean, yeah, if
cool
we,
aspect.
I guess I don't know. If, I meant to say it when we were first starting this episode out, but when he was growing up with his parents, he wasn't super pressured into doing music. I think he learned piano or something, a little bit, but It wasn't like a big musical thing until a little bit later, and then he was into stuff like Karate Kid Anthem, which I'm not sure if he's talking about the Karate Kid, like
The
theme
movie
music.
soundtrack?
That's
Yeah.
Or but like Chicago, the band Chicago, Phil Collins. So he's into like these 80s kind of cheesy sounds. That's where he's coming from. So I just wanted to throw that in there here at the end. We should have said at the beginning. But yeah, I mean, what else we got? I did make a small note. He believes in aliens. I heard on an interview.
Yeah, I heard that same interview.
Okay, cool. So that's fun because
He said he was a little bit like, "Ooh, I don't know if He was like, I'm going to lose some fans from saying
Right.
this shit." What did he say about that? So I didn't quite catch what he said.
Well, the cool thing that I remember, he was talking about how I don't know, he was eating an apple or something, and he was like, maybe alien technology isn't like we're expecting them to come down on a ship in a physical form, but maybe like we're creating this AI and this alien technology or these aliens that are already here are getting us to build this AI technology. And so like they're kind of here, but they're using us to build this infrastructure, through us.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a different way of seeing alien life, because it could possibly, aliens could be something that we can't see, not like a physical humanoid form, but it could be here in the form of, networks through the living things on Earth.
Yeah. I mean, something to that. Different dimensions. So we already know there's different dimensions.
But yeah.
Humans can only see 3, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
1D, 2D, and 3D.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, but, just even scientifically, right? We're just like molecules vibrating at certain frequencies.
Yeah, totally.
So the fact that there could be other things intermingled within that is not, I don't think that's a crazy thought. It's just, the crazy thing is people don't think about that very much.
Right.
The fact that we are just all molecules vibrating at different frequencies.
Yeah, and music is the same thing. You can use whatever instruments you want, real stuff, electronic stuff, but essentially all these musicians are just making vibrations come out of speakers.
Yeah, and it can change your mood and your vibe and feeling from something you hear.
And so that's what he's really incorporating and wanting to push and using that to connect people.
Yeah.
And he's kind of seeing that, it's energy, it's vibrations. Let's use this powerful energy to bring people together and create these new networks, to create self-sustaining, pieces of our culture that bring us together more and make us happier and make us healthier, and make us stronger.
Yeah.
So I really respect him for that, seeing a super well-rounded thing. He's not just trying to make money. He's not just trying to be famous. He's trying to put this good energy out and I don't know, his inner vibration, and try to push that out to other people.
No, he seems to be using his success not for selfish reasons, but to try and put it back into all of the things. He's like reinvesting his success into the things he does immediately with the people around him, but also trying to extend that when he goes on tour and with his fan base and trying to sort of get them. He's not trying to get people to do things. Well, I think he's just encouraging and inspiring and people. And
he's not forcing anything, but he's just showing these opportunities and showing people that there's potential and opportunity to do something that maybe we all really want. And a lot of people want this. Yeah. You know, I want to build a garden, or I want to help my community be more self-sustaining, or just on my personal life. Yeah. And these opportunities are there. And he's just showing people that it's there. And sometimes, you know, people are blind to things that they just don't know are there. Yeah. And once they're shown that, they want it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just, I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, I lost my train of thought. This only happened, only the second time this has happened in all of our episodes. But something I was going to say about that.
We'll think about it later.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's basically all I got on this guy, unless you have anything else.
No, I mean, just I guess some of the sort of not a technical level sort of thing, but how I think his break was when he in his early days of making music, he got a lot of exposure on early digital radio stations. So just like Signl, but Signl wasn't around back then.
Should have been. I wish.
He got a lot of play that way, and his big thing that allowed him to do music full time was some video game company that was making funded by Microsoft to make some game. Had commissioned him to do the soundtrack for that video game.
Cool.
Which I googled it, and I think it's called Watch Dogs 2. I have no idea what this is. I don't play video games, unfortunately. But so he said he got that gig, and then it was like that allowed him to do it full time and really sort of go into music making. And and his label Jumpsuit Records, I think he calls it, where he's signing a bunch of artists, mostly he says through sort of mutual friends and people that come his way, but he does have a site where any musicians can submit music to the label for consideration for release. He also said about that, it's not really like it's not like a record label in the old days of record labels. It's like, he said it's more of like a service, like, you know, if he puts out music, he's really trying to just promote and market. And maybe that's where his marketing, I don't know if he finished his degree or whatever. But
I think he did. Yeah. But again, you can see how he recognizes these small ecosystems, you know, within like his musical ecosystem and ecosystems of the world. Yeah. And you can see everything that he does is kind of like, oh, how can we make this the most sustainable thing? How can we bring other people into this and bring people together, create these networks within these networks, and build a better world for everybody?
You know, that's a good thing because, you know, I think probably in America more than any other country, like over here, there is a sort of I don't know what the way to say it is, but there's not a habit, not a predilection, maybe, however you say that word, to like creating kind of cultish organizations or organizations of people, big groups of people, like big herd mentality type things. You know, I think it has bad things where you think about things like Scientology or like certain religions or cults kind of thing. But then there's or cults of personality as well. Like if you think about some of these big like motivational speakers like Tony Robbins and stuff like that, who creates this whole multi-million-dollar empire out of people that follow him and everything he says kind of thing.
And there's people at these mega churches with their private jets.
Exactly. All this shit. And, you know, and all, even just like, you know, I don't know what you call them, like communities where all these people used to get together and live like on a farm together and have their own ways of doing things kind of thing. Like,
right, yeah.
You know, I'm always a bit anti that, I think, because I don't like herd mentality or herd community. I don't think it's a very good thing.
Yeah.
I think everyone, for the most part, should try and be individual and have individual thoughts and actions kind of thing.
Right.
And not follow each other blindly sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but I'm saying, like, I think he's, you know, I think he's realized not the cult of personality, but the reaction that his music is having on his fan base. He's like recognizing there's like thousands of people that are into what he's doing.
Yeah, so instead of the cult of personality, like
Yeah.
recognizing the power of individuality,
Yeah.
and how you can connect that energy to create a network that's powerful.
Yeah. So instead of him being like, oh shit, there's these thousands of people following me, like, now I'm going to get them to subscribe to my club and they can come like and make me
and
rich.
that's
and shit
the end game.
Yeah, like he's actually instead using his audience to promote these positive ideas of like, here's how you can help other people, not how you can help me, how you can help other people,
Right.
and your communities. And so, yeah, for that aspect, I think he's probably the only person I've heard of so far that's using his megaphone for positive kind of
Totally.
things, you know.
Not that other artists aren't doing stuff
Well,
for
true, yeah.
their communities and stuff, but on not on this scale that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's putting a lot of extra effort. It's a
Well,
lot
yeah,
of
for
effort.
those shows as well. Like,
He's-
actually, like, you know, not just saying it and then you should, like, actually saying, here, tomorrow after the show, here's, like, we're all going to be here doing
Yeah.
this thing, come join.
And he's there. He's not just sending his team out to go, hey, go help
Yeah,
my
yeah.
fan make a garden on the outskirts of the city I'm playing in.
Yeah.
He's there first thing in the morning, so
Yeah.
he's putting in the time, you know,
Yeah.
and he's there building this. So
Yeah.
super cool, super admirable.
So that's the interesting about the show, right? Because you wouldn't know any of this with just listening to his album or finding him online and diving into his discography. But then once you find out about the person behind the music, this I think seems to be the core of who he is. You know,
Yeah.
as a person, sort of thing.
He's
His
much-
outlook and that. And all that.
Yeah, much bigger vision than just I want to make a good album
Yeah.
and play it and make money and live my life.
Like, in fact, like, I couldn't really find much about him actually really talking about the music. He just makes it and puts it out there and does the shows and has all these festival experiences. But he hasn't really talked in interviews about really the music, mostly about other shit. So, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know, like,
If anybody thinks this is super cool as well, go check him out online because I mean, I don't know, the PolishAmbassador.com or something like that. You'll find him.
Yeah.
It's not the guy in the suit in Poland, but you know, look for a blue and yellow jumpsuit, and that's your guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some cool videos on YouTube of him talking about this in a much more clear way than I can. I'm not a very good speaker. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just learning how to podcast.
Yeah. Good.
Today.
Get your words out.
Try to use some good words and everything. Sometimes I just say words and they don't make sentences. But definitely check out this guy online. That's really all I got on this guy. I think we should play out another track.
Yes.
And we'll call it a day.
Play Querico.
All right. If anybody has any... Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt, but if anybody has any insights about this guy or cool information or any corrections about anything that I said or Jay said, hit us up at that email. Give it to me, Jay.
Roots to Grooves at signalradio.com. That's SIGNL
Boom.
radio.com. Yeah.
All right, play us out, Jay. Thank you, everybody. This has been Roots to Grooves. Jesse Quigley here.
And Jay Purcell.
Boom.
We'll see you next time.
Later.
¡Qué rico! rico! ¡Qué rico!
Roots to Grooves is a production of Signl Radio. For more music and independent culture, visit signalradio.com. That's signl radio.com.